friendly and loving figure.
Recently, angel researchers like Ronner have seen a remarkable trend. Survivors, family members, and even their doctors are sensing the presence of a radiant protective angel that waits beside the dying. Jack Allman has worked with the Greensboro, North Carolina Police Department for over 26 years. As a patrol officer, violent crime and traffic accidents were part of Jack's routine.
I witnessed death quite often, probably on the average of once a week. I've always been very skeptical of angels or any other claim of religious experience like that. Through my training as a police officer, I was trained to be skeptical of things.
Then, on the evening of January 7, 1984, Jack Allman was forced to reevaluate his skepticism when an apparition appeared to him by his dying mother's bedside.
I just want you to know that it's okay to die. I know that you're ready to go. And I told her that I loved her and that she should enjoy the trip. It was time for her to go, and that it was okay for her to go. And I think she was at peace when we talked about that.
As his mother closed her eyes, Jack sensed a peaceful serenity descending upon the room.
All of a sudden, I was aware that her bed was encircled by possibly 11, 12 different beings completely encircling her bed. And these beings were dressed in a coarsely woven burlap-like cloak, and there was a very warm golden glow bathing the entire area. They were standing as a human being would stand. They were just very quiet, very still, and I could actually see through the being that was on my left.
4 hours after this awe-inspiring angelic encounter, Jack's mother was pronounced dead.
I've heard that the soul departs from the body before the body actually dies. So this may very well have been what I saw.
Days passed before Jack shared his experience, and then only with his wife. It was years before he told his story to anyone else, remembering that he was once a skeptic of the supernatural.
I believe that the figures were angels, and I believe that they came to escort my mother's soul to heaven. That's what I believe.
For years, Jack wondered, was he the only one who had seen them? The question was answered for Jack by fellow North Carolinian Leonard Day. Day is an author and counselor whose extensive angel research is included in his books, lectures, and in his artwork.
He came to me and he explained the entire encounter, and I said, yes. I said, you had an angel encounter. He had what we call a true case of an angel interaction.
Leonard Day has interviewed over 100 people with terminal illnesses and has found that a staggering number of them have had angelic encounters, identical to Jack Allman's.
It is believed that this glow that they are seeing is the actual radiance of the power of God, and it is their power source that they are bringing with them.
But, Day says, he has also researched angelic apparitions which appear in animal, human, or abstract form. Linda Davis is a registered nurse whose personal encounter with the angel of death took an abstract form. 6 years ago, Linda was on duty at the hospital when she saw what looked like a cloud of smoke hovering over a dying man on a stretcher.
And when the cloud went away, the patient died. And it was just always been my belief that that was the angel who came after him.
I believe in that case that the angel took on the form of a mist that was probably the departure of the spirit of this loved one departing and going on.
You just feel awe when you see something like that because you feel like you've been given a glimpse, a little bit of a glimpse of the other side.
Hey, hotshot.
Partly because of her angel experience, Linda is dedicated to promoting hospice care because it allows her patients to die at home, among loved ones, in an atmosphere conducive to a spiritual encounter.
I've had them tell me that the angel came and took me and showed me heaven, showed me where I was going. This is very common. In fact, it's more common for it to happen than for it not to happen.
Dr. Ann Alexander is an internist who works in the emergency room at an area hospital. Dr. Alexander believes that modern science and advancing medical technology sometimes inhibit the appearance of the angel of death.
We've taken dead people and we've kept their body alive, but there's more to a person than just their body. There's their soul. And if the soul isn't getting anything out of life, then what good is just the clothing? The actual human body, what good is that without the rest of it?
In the emergency room, Dr. Alexander has experienced several spiritual episodes that they never taught her about in medical school.
I have seen patients reach moments of peace, not resignation with their death, but just acceptance about it and readiness to go on to the next phase. It's no medicine that's made them feel like that. It's a spiritual something that's gone on inside of them.
So hurry up, I press here.
For every doctor like Ann Alexander, there are many more doctors who may believe in angels but won't speak publicly about their beliefs.
Every angel story I hear makes me believe more in angels. I mean, I believe, when these people say they see something, I believe them. I wouldn't mind seeing an angel myself.
Ann's husband, Dr. Tony Alexander, is also an internist and a believer. His most remarkable angel experience occurred in 1995, when one of Tony's patients in seemingly excellent health asked to be hospitalized.
And then he told me that 2 nights before, in a dream, he saw his mother and another figure. And they told him he was going to be dying on Sunday morning.
Dr. Alexander admitted his patient under unconventional circumstances.
I just don't normally put people in the hospital unless they're very, very sick. And this is just the most unusual experience I have ever had.
On Saturday at 9 p.m., Dr. Alexander checked on his patient. The man was fine.
And at 5:05 on Sunday morning, he took his last breath and he died. There was no explanation other than something supernatural having intervened.
Both Doctors Alexander acknowledge that their belief in angels is outside of scientific logic.
I believe that angels exist. I believe that there is a guardian angel for each of us, whether we see it or not. And I believe that there is another figure that can be interpreted as the angel of death that does come at the time of death, a very peaceful spirit, to let that person know it's time to go and it's okay.
For those seeking a scientific explanation, angelic encounters can never be proved. For those seeking comfort, no further proof is necessary.
That angel is one of the most sensitive angels that God ever created.